So you've heard all this buzz about Apple's big AI push, right?
Yeah.
This Apple Intelligence.
Yeah.
And that's what we're diving deep into today.
Yeah, sounds good.
We're going to explore how it could shake things up across your iPhone, iPad, even your trusty Mac.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to be talking about changes to how you write, how you create, even just how you find that photo from 5 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's really interesting to me is how Apple isn't presenting this as some standalone app.
Right.
That you have to learn. It's more like they're trying to weave AI into everything.
Okay.
All the ways you're already using your Apple devices.
Gotcha.
So
it's like AI for just everyday life, which I gotta admit is both really exciting, but also a little bit unnerving.
Yeah, I could see that. It's understandable to feel that way. But, Apple seems to be going for a very approachable, kind of friendly, practical vibe.
Yeah, that's so much technological wizardry.
Yeah, pure technological wizardry as it is.
Yeah.
Hey, how can this actually help you in your everyday life?
Right, exactly.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, and one of the places that I saw that, at least initially, that really caught my eye was how Apple Intelligence is supposed to supercharge writing.
Yes.
Which is something that we all use all the time.
Yeah, for sure. I think their writing tool suite is a prime example of that.
Okay.
It's less about, here's this long list of features and more about here's some relatable scenarios that illustrate how impactful this could be.
Remember that time that you dashed off a quick email to your boss?
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that sounded way too casual.
Totally. Why did I say it like that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So with Apple Intelligence, you could potentially refine that.
Okay.
Make it sound more polished, more professional.
So it's like having a personal editor on call.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I have to admit sounds incredibly useful.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's not just limited to, Apple's own apps. They're integrating this across the board.
Okay, so this could be third-party apps, everything.
Exactly. So whether you're doing emails, social media posts, even turning a simple note into a formal dinner invitation, Apple Intelligence aims to be there.
Okay.
Making those everyday writing tasks smoother and more efficient.
But here's where I think it starts to get really fun.
Okay.
Remember,
Let's have
endlessly scrolling through emojis.
Oh, tell me about it.
Trying to find the perfect one.
Okay.
They basically want to change all that.
It's the worst. Yeah. This is great. Tell me more.
So their Genmoji creation feature is pretty wild.
Okay.
Okay, imagine this. Instead of scrolling, you just describe the emoji you want.
Okay.
A T-Rex on a surfboard.
Okay. I'm listening. Done.
Wow.
A smiley face with cucumber eyes.
Okay.
Why not? All right.
Even turning your friend into an astronaut.
Oh, my God.
The possibilities are kind of endless.
Wow. That's really cool.
It's like having a personal emoji artist on call 24/7.
Yeah.
But it's not just about emojis.
Okay.
This image playground thing is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
They're saying that they can turn your words into actual images.
So
it's crazy.
Yeah. So how does that work?
So you can type in something like cat chef.
Okay.
Choose an art style.
I can choose.
You can do it as a cartoon.
Okay.
A sketch.
Gotcha.
A photorealistic illustration.
Wow.
And voila.
So we
get a unique image based on your description.
That's amazing.
And they even have this image wand feature.
Okay.
That can apparently...
So image wand is
take your rough doodles.
Okay.
And turn them into polished visuals.
That's crazy.
That's incredible. So it cleans it up.
Yeah, it's like a mini design studio in your pocket.
That's amazing. But all this AI magic has to be powered by something, right?
Right.
Some kind of central brain.
Exactly, yeah. So that brain, as you call it, is Siri.
Okay.
But not the Siri that you're used to.
Oh, okay.
This is Siri, amplified, enhanced, significantly upgraded by Apple Intelligence.
Okay. So first off, they've given Siri a whole new look.
Right.
It's no longer just a voice.
Yeah.
It has this elegant, almost ethereal glow.
I like it.
That highlights its activity on your screen.
I like it.
But the really big changes are happening kind of beneath the surface.
Yes. Apple's making a big deal about natural language understanding.
Okay.
And essentially, Siri can now understand you.
Okay.
Even if you don't speak perfectly clearly.
Right.
Or if you kind of stumble over your words a bit.
Right.
Which we all do sometimes.
It's like Siri's finally learned to decipher.
Yeah, exactly.
Your nuances.
Of how we actually talk, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to like perfectly enunciated.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Well, that's cool.
But what really blew my mind was this concept of contextual awareness.
Yes.
Siri's not just responding to like single commands anymore.
No, it's much more than that. It's about understanding the relationship between different things you've said.
Okay.
And the information that's already on your device.
Okay.
So
it's almost as if Siri is becoming like
a digital detective almost.
A digital detective.
Yeah, piecing together clues.
Putting together these.
To give you precisely what you need, even if you didn't explicitly ask for it.
Okay, that's both impressive and a little bit creepy.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit Big Brother-ish, but...
Like, how much does Siri actually know?
Right, exactly. That's the question.
But before we kind of go down that rabbit hole...
Yeah, for sure.
I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
Okay. What's that?
All this personalization, all this AI magic...
Yeah.
It requires a ton of data, right?
Oh, it does, yeah.
For sure.
What about our privacy?
That's the question, right? I mean, that's what everyone wants to know.
Right.
How is Apple approaching the privacy concerns around all this highly personalized AI?
Yeah, and that is like the question on everyone's mind, right?
Yeah, for sure.
How is Apple approaching like the privacy concerns around all of this?
Right.
Highly personalized AI.
Yeah, it seems like, at least based on what they're saying, privacy is like, front and center for them.
Okay.
Of Apple Intelligence. One of their key points is that a lot of the data processing happens locally.
Okay.
Right on your device. So when it comes to things like, facial recognition in photos or, understanding your writing style.
Right.
That's all happening.
On your iPhone.
On your iPhone, not in some massive data center.
Okay. That actually makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But what about those really complex AI processes?
Right. The ones that need a ton of computing power. That can't all happen on our phones, can it?
That's where things get interesting. Right.
Okay.
Because you're right. Our devices have come a long way, but they can't handle like the really heavy lifting.
Right.
So for that, Apple is introducing what they call private cloud compute.
Okay.
And essentially what they're doing is they're utilizing larger server-based models to handle those more demanding tasks.
So you're saying our data is going up to the cloud?
Well, okay, so that's the thing.
That doesn't sound very private.
Here's the crucial part.
Okay.
Apple is adamant that your data is not stored or shared with them during this process.
Gotcha.
They're saying it's used only to fulfill your request and then it's gone.
Okay, but how can we be sure that they're actually...
Yeah, I mean, you're right to be skeptical.
Like,
haven't exactly been known for their,
their
transparency and honesty in the past.
Right, exactly.
So it's a valid concern. But to address this, what Apple is saying is, okay, we're going to bring in independent experts to verify our privacy claims.
Gotcha.
Which, it's a bold move.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it plays out in the long run.
It really does kind of make you wonder, are they trying to set a new standard?
Yeah, are they trying...
For privacy in the age of AI.
Yeah, like raise the bar for everybody.
It feels like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, right?
It's a delicate balance to strike, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe let's kind of shift gears a little bit here and talk about what all of this means for, the user.
For us.
Yeah, for us.
Yeah.
Like, how might this actually change how you interact with your Apple devices?
Give me the nitty-gritty. Like, what are some concrete examples?
Okay, sure. So one that Apple highlights is finding those lost memories.
Okay.
Buried in your photo library. You know that feeling when you're scrolling endlessly?
Don't even get me started.
Years of photos.
So much wasted time.
Just trying to find that one specific image.
Yeah.
So imagine instead of scrolling, you could just describe what you're looking for.
Okay.
Like, my dog wearing a party hat.
Right.
And Apple Intelligence just pulls up all the relevant photos and videos.
So instead of us searching for our memories come searching for us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really changes how we interact with our data. Yeah. And this idea of using AI to bridge the gap between like the real world and the digital world, it goes even further.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Okay. So Apple gives this example of like you're pointing your phone's camera at a restaurant, right?
Okay.
And imagine instantly seeing reviews, menus, even reservation options, all without having to, like, lift a finger.
So it's like having it's like
personalized AI-powered concierge in my pocket.
Exactly.
But with all this information being thrown at us,
right,
isn't there a risk of, like, sensory overload?
Right, because it's like
our notifications are already out of control.
Already too much, right? So that's where, this whole concept of priority notifications comes in.
Okay.
Because Apple Intelligence learns, right, based on your behavior, what matters most to you.
Gotcha.
And it surfaces those notifications first. So, those urgent messages from your boss.
Right.
Or time-sensitive reminders, those won't get lost in the shuffle.
Right. So it's like having a personal assistant who knows which emails to delete before I even see them.
Exactly. Prioritize.
But with all this talk about, like, AI, like, learning our behaviors, anticipating our needs, it makes you wonder, like, where do we draw the line?
The slippery slope, right? Like, how much control are we really giving up? Yeah.
Are we giving up in exchange for this convenience?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Like, exactly.
I mean, I think, as AI gets more sophisticated, these are questions that we're going to have to grapple with more and more.
Yeah.
But, it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, there's some really exciting possibilities here, too.
We have to be cautious, but also open to, like...
Yeah, exactly. Be cautiously optimistic.
The potential benefit.
Yeah, because, I mean, this technology could genuinely improve our lives in countless ways.
Yeah.
If we use it thoughtfully.
And one of the things that I think is most exciting about Apple Intelligence is how it's opening up this world of AI to developers.
To developers beyond Apple.
Beyond Apple, right?
Right, exactly.
So all this stuff that we've been talking about, it's not just limited to Apple's own apps.
Yeah, because they're releasing new tools and frameworks that will allow third-party developers to integrate Apple Intelligence into their own apps. So potentially, like, every app on my phone could be
potentially
as intuitive and responsive as Siri.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, this has the potential to, like, completely revolutionize the app ecosystem.
Yeah.
From, productivity tools to games to social media.
It's hard to even imagine, like, what developers will come up with.
It's going to be fascinating to see.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself here.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's next?
Right.
Where does Apple go from here?
I mean, it's clear that Apple is all in on AI.
Yeah.
Right? They're not just kind of dipping their toes in the water.
Right.
They are diving in head first.
Yeah.
And I think, their emphasis on privacy, I think that's what really sets them apart.
Right.
It's a bold bet.
Yeah.
But it's one that could pay off big time
if
they can pull it off.
It really is exciting to think about, like, where all of this could lead.
Yeah.
But I also think that
it's like we're on the cusp of something.
Yeah, like, we're so early.
Yeah, totally. It's like the Wild West of AI still.
Are there any potential downsides?
That's the question, right? I mean, with any new technology, there are always,
some trade-offs.
This big. Yeah, for sure. I mean, one concern that comes to mind is, this potential for over-reliance on AI. Right. I mean, if our devices are constantly, like, anticipating our needs, doing our thinking for us.
Yeah, it's like that classic sci-fi trope.
Exactly.
Humans becoming too dependent.
Like WALL-E. Right. We're just these, like, plobs.
On the spaceship.
Floating around, yeah. So, I mean...
just being like, Siri, what's the meaning of life?
Yeah, exactly. Siri, feed me. No, so, I mean, I think, we have to be mindful of that. And then, of course, there's the issue of accessibility. Right? I mean, this is all well and good.
Right.
Apple Intelligence is designed to be user-friendly, but will it be equally accessible to everybody?
Right, because technology should be empowering. That's exactly.
Not exclusionary.
100%. And then I think finally, there's just the kind of unknown.
Right.
The unintended consequences.
Right.
With any new technology, especially something as powerful as AI, it's impossible to predict every potential outcome.
It's a bit daunting, to be honest.
It is, but it's also kind of, like you said, it's exciting.
Part of the adventure.
Yeah.
But I think, we've talked a lot about kind of the impact on, like, us as individuals.
Yeah.
What about the bigger picture? Like, how might this technology...
Right, the societal implications.
...shape society as a whole?
Yeah, and that's where things get really interesting, right? I mean, on a societal level, this has the potential to, like, totally revolutionize fields.
Right.
Like education, healthcare.
It's incredible to think about, but we also have to be mindful of...
Right, but for every potential positive, there's a potential negative.
Like job displacement.
Right, exactly.
Algorithmic bias. 100%. All very, very valid concerns and things that we need to be thinking about.
Right. It's like AI is a tool.
It's a tool. That's all it is.
And it can be used for good or for ill.
Yeah, it's up to us.
It's up to us.
To decide how we want to use it.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive here into Apple Intelligence.
Okay.
What's like the one big takeaway? What do you hope?
Ooh, that's a good question.
People listening.
The one big takeaway.
Are walking away with today?
I think for me, it's about approaching this new era, this new frontier, with a sense of like cautious optimism.
Okay.
Right? Be excited.
Yeah.
But also be skeptical.
Right.
Ask tough questions.
Don't just take it at face value.
Don't just blindly accept it, right?
Yeah.
Demand transparency.
Yes.
From these companies. And most importantly, I think, never stop thinking critically about the role
100%
that you want technology to play in your life.
Beautifully said. It is a brave new world out there, folks. And we are all just along for the ride. So as we navigate this crazy, ever-evolving landscape of AI, it's more important than ever to stay informed, to stay engaged, and to stay empowered. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
On this deep dive into Apple Intelligence. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
staying real,
and keep the conversation going.